Not help but think of how different this story might have gone if Harley were just able to finish her damn breakfast sandwich.
I know.
What a way to start my new life. The perfect egg sandwich.
I mean,
point.
do you know what? There used to be a lot more of the egg sandwich in the film.
Really?
And at some point, everyone was like, we can't spend half the movie on an egg sandwich. And Christina and I were like, of course we should.
I had a woman behind me who screamed out in physical pain as it fell to the floor. Just
I love that.
Screamed out, no, no! And I felt her pain in that moment. Please just take me through the filming of the creation of the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Yeah,
because
that was so fun.
It is food porn. It's food.
Yes. Yes, it was written in the script like that, and I love food, and I love food.
Yeah.
I watched like Joe Dreams with Sushi 5 times, and the way that the like sushi glistens, you know. And so we tried to just like make it the sexiest egg sandwich ever, and the Barry White track doesn't, hurt it hopefully. And then of course just the drama and the opera of it falling, and that took some time actually, to get it right. And we shot on the Phantom so that it could be super slow, and Margot's face. I mean her reaction, yeah. And just the tear, it's gold, and we knew it on the day that it was going to be a lot of fun.
Oh boy, where do I even begin in this whole fiasco that is Birds of Prey? And even DC in general, as a whole, come to think of it. I really had no interest in this film from the get-go, from when it was announced to the first trailers and to when it was finally released. But I had to see if I could make an entertaining video out of it if it was bad enough. Because fuck, something good has to come out of this mess of a movie, and lo and behold, it was in fact bad enough to make a video about. And first off, I just really want to understand why. Why in the goddamn hell is this the film in DC that gets made, or even has remotely any interest from anyone outside of Margot Robbie and the director Kathy Yan wanting their little feminist girl power fantasy? I mean, the whole thing comes across so childish, like, yeah, we're gonna make this fun, quirky and zany feminist adventure, and we'll do what we want and no one can ruin this for us. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, just like what happened with Charlie's Angels and its abysmal box office and reviews, it was all blamed on men. Those disgusting, misogynistic white men. I'm a white male myself, and they make me vomit. Just disgusting. But that's essentially this film's message in a nutshell. All men bad, take credit for woman work, all girl good, yay feminism. Ugh, Jesus, I'm having Vietnam flashbacks to this shit stain of a character.
I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
I also want to quickly go through the absolute broken structure of the DC Universe films, because fuck me, DC are clinging on for dear life to stay relevant and successful, especially after this recent disaster of Birds of Prey. So we begin the universe with Man of Steel, Superman. A solid start, famous hero, leader of the Justice League, easy win, right? Oh, that's a shame. Well, which hero is next? Wait, what? Batman versus Superman? We're doing this now? It's the second film. Why aren't they introducing new characters? Wonder Woman's here? Why? Oh, what a terrible film. And then we get... Okay, this has been very shit so far. Well, here's Wonder Woman, and yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so that was good. That was good fun. But we finally have Justice League. Yeah, the big team up. What's this like?
And I get the exclusive.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh God! Then it goes Aquaman, then Shazam, and now here we are with this. Jesus Christ, it would be like if Marvel Studios started strong with Iron Man, like they already did, but then 3 years later the sequel comes out, and it's fucking Civil War. This flawed structure of their movie universe is what I believe to be what will ultimately be DC's undoing in the movie universe. Well, that and making shit films, but mainly the poor planning. So, without further ado, let's dive right into Harley Quinn, featuring the Birds of Prey. So right from the opening minutes of the film, you are treated to an obnoxious narration from Harley Quinn. Throughout the whole film as well, it gets really annoying. And with that, you're also in for this film's desperate and cringy attempt at being quirky and different. From the opening sequence being a 2D cartoon going through Harley's origin. I mean, the animation's good, but it's still awkward. To incredibly strange music choices during certain scenes. Like, there's a part later on where Harley buys an egg sandwich, and the music and editing makes you think this is really sexy, because food is so bae, am I right? Hashtag mood. That is so lit. Hashtag relatable AF. God, I love food. So through Harley's narration, we find out her and Joker broke up because he took credit for all of her work.
I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's
Yes.
work.
Shut the fuck up. So she's wallowing in sadness, has a crappy apartment, which doesn't look that bad to be honest, eats food and buys a hyena because comic books, and is drinking at clubs, breaking guys' legs because she spilled the drink on him. Yeah, that's very nice of her. And before anyone says, oh, she's a villain, she does that kind of stuff, she's crazy. No, bullshit. This movie is clearly making her the protagonist. She teams up with other heroes and the fucking detective and fights other actual villains alongside them. So no one takes her seriously when she's not with Joker, and now she's sad, but to get some closure, she decides to take a truck and drive it into the Ace Chemicals plant where she became Harley Quinn and blow it up? Excuse me, blow up a chemical plant. Like, holy fucking shit, she's just doomed that entire city with that single action. Also not entirely sure how just driving a truck towards the plant would instantly make everything blow up. I mean, the truck doesn't swerve to the side or just stop and crash when it hits a metal gate. Like, it just goes one straight line when she just fucking jumps out of it. It just keeps going straight. But whatever, explosive tanker means big explosion on impact, but my god, the entire chemical plant is destroyed. It's releasing god knows how many fucking poisonous chemicals into the air. Like, that shit spreads fast. I've seen Chernobyl, I know how this goes down. We now go to the detective character, Renee Montoya, who is also the victim of this film's cartoonish idea of misogyny. Like, she is clearly a well-experienced member of the police force and is a detective, but she could have been promoted to captain on a career-making case, but that smelly, stupid fucking man took the credit, and she's stuck with being a detective with another stupid white man. And just to hit you over the head more with a sledgehammer with this message, Montoya goes up to an officer just standing there while they look at the crime scene, asking him to get ballistics to check the bullet wounds, and the fucker just stands there doing nothing, staring at her, then turns to the man detective next to her for his approval, and the guy detective just this shit-eating smirk and waves him off to go. Like, just fuck off. This would never happen. You pandering, cringy feminist film. God, this also reminds me of Captain Marvel as well.
Easy, fine. But you're too emotional. You do know why they call it a cockpit, don't you?
So Montoya finds out that a girl assassin killed the mob guys they were looking at in the crime scene. She knows it's a girl because there was a hair on the arrow that killed the mob leader guy. How could she come to the conclusion that because there is a strand of hair visible that it must be a female? I guess men don't have hair. Then they are interrupted by the Ace Chemicals explosion and go to investigate. And what the fuck? There are just dozens of people strolling around outside the plant with no protection other than what the firefighters have, but everyone else, including the police, have nothing. Not even gas masks or hazmat suits or something like that. Just breathing in that fresh, toxic air. and the plant is still on fire. Like, they've just got there. Nothing's been fucking doused out. Like, it's just comical. Like shit, it hardly seems safe to come out and investigate and make a crime scene now. But I guess I have to move the plot along, so here we are. And one of the officers there finds Harley's necklace that she threw away and gives it to Montoya, so now she's going after Harley Quinn. We are now introduced to the vile misogynist villain Ewan McGregor, aka Roman Sionis, aka Black Mask, aka he rarely wears the black mask, so why the fuck is he called Black Mask? He's with Victor Zsasz, cutting up faces and slicing throats of a family. I guess they have to justify this unnecessary R rating somehow, right? Along with all the forced cringy fuck bombs laid out every other scene. Newsflash to Warner Brothers and other clueless, out-of-touch movie studios and producers. Just because you slap an R rating on a comic book film doesn't mean it will be magically successful in any way, shape or form. Joker was a success because it was well made and people cared about it, including the filmmakers. This is a corporate product with a feminist agenda. Know the difference.
Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
A picture of me?
No! The definition of the word idiot, which you fucking are.
We are now blessed with that egg sandwich scene I mentioned earlier, and after that, Harley is somehow out of nowhere found by Montoya, and then an incredibly stupid chase happens. I mean, I hardly call it a chase, it's more of this obviously much physically fitter woman in her 20s sprinting and doing acrobatics around the area, in heels no less, which is very, very skilled. And at the same time, a screaming Latina woman in her 50s desperately struggling to even jog her way through these busy streets.
Me before, we're suddenly doing this.
While this chase is happening, there are random throwaway characters popping up to try and kill Harley because she has wronged them in some way. Again, how the fuck did they find her? I guess it's just this film's kooky and quirky filmmaking nature, that like characters just show up like this. And maybe it's just some psychic abilities they have, the same as Montoya, I guess. So we have the guy from the club whose legs were broken by Harley, and the guy who sold her the hyena near the beginning of the film. And he got one of his limbs eaten by it because he wanted to sexy time with Harley. But I guess he's fine now? Like, driving a van too? I guess blood loss isn't a thing in this universe. Like, I'm pretty sure he lost his leg. But, like, how is he driving with one leg? And if it was an arm, like, again, how's he... But he's clearly driving with two arms in the scene, so it must be a fake arm. Or he has a fake leg. It's dumb. So then another titanically stupid thing happens where Montoya finally somehow catches up to Harley, tackles her to the ground, her egg sandwich is destroyed and she has a little funny cry, and there's a shot when Montoya has her gun pointed at Harley, and at the same time, the fucking broken legs guy in a wheelchair is right behind her, pointing his gun at her, and she has no fucking clue, and no one else around them watching this tells her. And then the hyena guy is driving up in his van to run Harley over, and Harley's plan to get out of this, while Montoya is still pointing the gun at her, is just to stand up and throw trash at Montoya and the wheelchair guy.
I made a carefully calculated, highly strategic move.
Like, while has guns trained on her. Like, she just manages to do this. Wheelchair guy then shoots the hyena guy by accident. Harley runs up a car, jumps onto a ladder, hyena guy runs over wheelchair guy, and Montoya just stands there with a fucking surprised Pikachu face. So Harley escapes but runs into another guy who she wronged by tattooing his face with clown makeup. And she did this with the Joker back in the day. But then he gets blasted by a fucking arrow from Huntress before she rides away. And then Black Mask's henchmen arrive, yet again, out of nowhere, somehow finding Harley, and they take her away. So then we go to Montoya, and she's bitching at the police station that Sionis is a bad dude, but those nasty woman-hating men aren't having any of it, and they brush her off, including the assistant district attorney, glasses Asian lady, I genuinely don't remember her name and I don't care to, who is also Montoya's ex-girlfriend, or ex-wife, I don't know, they just say she's her ex, so I don't care. But more importantly, we learn about this film's retarded MacGuffin, the Bertinelli Diamond, which apparently holds the atomic structure of this crime family's offshore bank accounts?
The Bertinelli's super secret offshore bank accounts, the details of which were said to be encoded in the atomic structure of the 30-carat diamond.
Stop it. Get some help.
Are you fucking joking? How do you put in that kind of information into the atomic structure of a fucking diamond? That is so ridiculously convoluted, it's funny. Stupid, but funny. And that is why Black Mask wants the diamond for himself. So Montoya has a mole working for her, and working for Sionis at the same time, and it's Black Canary. And she tells her that the diamond is with a pickpocket called Cassandra Cain, who just so happens to be in police custody where Montoya is at that exact moment. Isn't that just a wonderful coincidence? So now we have what is probably the dumbest action scene in the film, and that's really saying something because a lot of the action in this movie is so uncaringly dumb that it just makes you think, how did they let this get out into the open and have the general public be allowed to see this mess? Yeah, so, the dumb action scene. Harley walks into the police station, disguised, looking for Cassandra, pulls out a fucking grenade launcher. Oh, but it's okay, because it's filled with glitter and I think rubber balls. So not lethal, but holy shit, so fucking stupid. And proceeds to blast a bunch of police officers in the face with this glitter gun. And somehow not a single cop in this whole station is pulling a gun on her, firing at her, tasing her, tackling her to the ground in a dog pile, beating her. Nothing. It is so comical. Like, these are the most inept police officers ever in a film. They have to be. Like, even after the first cop, like, working in the reception gets shot with this massive blast from this gun, the whole place is completely unalerted to the situation and don't notice her or her weapon until the very last second when she's 5 feet in front of someone, and Harley just clears the whole station of trained officers with cartoonish ease. All of them just rushing her with their fucking nightsticks instead of, oh, I don't know, pull out your fucking guns! You're also probably thinking, wait, wasn't Harley just captured by henchmen in the previous scene? Why, yes she was! But lest we forget, this is the quirkiness shining through because Harley is telling the story out of order. Why? Because quirky and different, right? No, fuck off. You're not Guy Ritchie and you're definitely not Quentin Tarantino. Stop being such a fucking try-hard movie. It's cringy and desperate because you can't make a cohesive story on its own, so you resort to these tied gimmicks like corny narration and out-of-order storytelling. Like, what purpose do these serve to the film? There needs to be a point to having them, you know. It's just annoying at this point. So we cut back to a few days ago when Harley was getting shit-faced at the bar, and then she meets Black Canary, and also side note, when it cuts to the bar and Black Canary is singing, she's singing the song, It's a Man's World. Yeah. So fucking subtle. So Black Mask is having a little meeting with that guy whose face he cut off to make a deal, but Asian dude is having none of it, so well, he's gonna get his face cut off later. And while Canary is singing, she shows off a bit of her powers by breaking a glass on a table. And how the fuck this doesn't affect any other person in that club, considering how ear-piercingly powerful her scream is? Like, well, it's just the simple fact of visuals over logic, which is sadly an ever-increasing trend in Hollywood over the last few years. So after Harley and Canary talk, Harley has been presumably drugged by a creepo man who is going to rape her with a buddy and put her in the back of a van. But Canary rushes to the rescue in what is a very exciting fight sequence. I swear, these stuntmen in this film are trying so much harder than the actresses to make these shitty action scenes look good. But it's all in vain, because they still look bland. Then, conveniently, Black Mask sees all of this out of his window, and then gets Canary to be his personal driver. And that gets the attention of Detective Montoya, who investigates her. And then she tells her this cliche story about Canary's mother, who also had the shouty powers and worked with the police. But new Canary is all pissed, because when her mother died, the cops didn't help her when she needed it. But Montoya apologizes. And then it's all okay, so now they're buddy-buddy partners working against Black Mask. So after Canary meets with Black Mask, they find out that Harley blew up the chemical plant and broke up with Joker. And now the timeline is about to line up to when Harley gets caught. Still doesn't answer how she gets caught, and how Black Mask's henchmen find her, they just do. Then Canary and Victor run errands together, and Victor takes the diamond MacGuffin off of Canary, and then Canary almost gets pickpocketed by Cassandra Cain, and Cassandra blurts out, "You're not the only one who makes money off from dumb rich white people." Ah yes, not only are men the enemy, but so are those disgusting pale-faced white pricks. So Canary sends her away, then Cassandra strolls by Victor and snatches the diamond from his pocket. And this has got to be the worst pickpocket I've ever seen. Like, she brushes up so fucking close to him and is also right in front of him as she's lifting the diamond out of his pocket. But Victor is just completely oblivious, looking off into the distance, somehow not spotting this chubby Asian in a bright red jacket right under his fucking nose. So anyway, she immediately gets caught by a cop car and taken away. Wow, they really want to get this boring plot moving along, don't they? Who gives a fuck? As long as it makes the film end faster, I'm good. Although this is only about 30 minutes into the film, and it's already felt like a fucking weekend has passed by. We now go to Harley Quinn being interrogated by Roman, and before they speak more, we get a literal list of things pop up on screen, which Harley has done to wrong Roman in some way. One of which, surprisingly, really caught my eye, when it says Harley voted for Bernie Sanders. What the fuck does this have to do with anything? Like, oh yes, if you don't like Bernie Sanders, you're the type of person to be a psychotic, misogynist villain like Black Mask is? Christ, this film has enough political agendas. Can we please move on to the boring plot and characters? That's what I came for. So then Harley makes a deal with Roman, saying she's the best person to find the diamond for him. And for some fucking reason, most likely the dumb script, he accepts the offer for her to find the diamond for him. Why? How does she know where it would be? Why doesn't Roman just get a fuckload of henchmen to go out and get the diamond in like 5 minutes, just like they found Harley in like a quick second? Like, in fact, they already know where she is. Like a Cassandra, she's in fucking police custody. Canary and Victor saw this, so they both definitely know where she is. I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand why we are going through this whole cliche charade of the main character being like, "Oh, I'm your best shot at doing this." Again, why? Because Harley said so? Fuck it. Like, I mean, Roman has zero reason to trust Harley. He's just been wanting to kill her and move on with his life so far, but now he's just uncharacteristically reasonable? Fuck off. Oh yeah, there's a weird moment where Harley is imagining a Marilyn Monroe type fantasy and singing "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend." Why? Well, quirkiness, themes, quirky directing, visuals over storytelling. And now that's not to say that visuals can't have storytelling themselves. I'm a big proponent of strong visuals to tell a story, but it has to at least mean something and add to the movie or the scene that it's in. What the fuck is this 20-second dance sequence supposed to represent? Diamonds? Because the film has a diamond in it? Or I guess it's just, oh, Harley Quinn's crazy brain going to work. It's whatever, it's not a big deal, it's just really pretentious to me. So Harley races off to find Cassandra Cain, and Roman, for some reason, just immediately puts out a $500,000 bounty on the girl and sends it out to every mercenary in Gotham to give Harley some competition. I mean, why didn't you just do that in the first fucking place? What was the point in having her go do this for you if you're just gonna have every mercenary in Gotham go after the diamond as well? Like, also this bounty is sent out to every mercenary in Gotham, and Canary gets the message pop up on her phone. Like, since when the hell is she a mercenary that collects fucking bounties? And now we are all caught up back at the police station, where Harley is still not getting shot, tackled, or beaten, or whatever as she strolls through the station, blasting cops in the face, and beating them up with ease. I mean, sure, this 5-foot-something, 120-pound skinny lady can definitely take out over a dozen huge, jacked, trained police officers all at once. Again, visual spectacle over logic, people. Just add bright colours with the fucking glitter gun and fast camera movements, and you've got yourself a movie. And this carries on when we are greeted to yet another shit and cringy fight scene, when Harley finds Cassandra Cain locked in a cell, and there are a bunch of other criminals in cells who conveniently recognise her, and she has wronged them all as well in some way, and they want to beat her up and kill her. And there are about 8 of them. I counted. There are 8 guys. 8 huge fucking ruthless, thuggish dudes who want to kill her. And how does this fight then proceed? With every single one of them coming at her one at a fucking time. Listen, as someone who's training to be a stuntman and has experience doing fight choreography, like a lot, this is one of the oldest, shittiest fads of action movies that just doesn't seem to be dying out anytime soon. When the protagonist is fighting off multiple bad guys at once, and all of the bad guys come at them one by one instead of ganging up on the hero altogether, because, yeah, the fight would be fucking over in 5 seconds. But, you know, that's not exciting. But also, when Harley Quinn fights them off, she is so fucking slow in her movements and hits. It's even more fucking hilarious when you're wondering what the hell the other guys are doing. Oh right, they're just standing there like, well, fucking stunt guys waiting for their cue. And the hits they take, Jesus, it's comical. They act as if they got run over by a truck doing these stupid flips and tosses in the air. Again, Harley Quinn managing all of this somehow. Just tapping them with a single hit, and fucking bang, they are out for the count. Dropped instantly with some stupid flip they did. Just kill me. So, after all of this has happened, all of those mercenaries finally get to the police station, and they, of course, armed to the teeth. But all those police officers that Harley took out, you know, in the dozens, they just fucking disappeared. Like, no extra stray cops running around the police station to deal with this. Like, I know there are definitely still, like, 5 in an office somewhere where Harley asked one of them where the cells are to find Cassandra. But what about fucking reinforcements? Like, gathering SWAT teams and other police units around the city? No? Apparently this is the only police station in Gotham. So Harley is now defending Cassandra in some more shit fighting where she overpowers 3 bounty hunters with guns, with a baseball bat. She then snorts some coke dust and gets a second wind and easily defeats some more mercenaries who show up. And then Montoya finally pops up out of nowhere. Where the fuck were you? And is threatening to arrest Harley. But then Harley throws a phone at her, knocking her out, and takes a car from the garage and Cassandra with her. So they're driving along. Cassandra throws a stick of dynamite at another mercenary car, who for some reason is some lady who looks like Frida Kahlo. Because funny, I guess. And then Cassandra tells Harley that she ate the diamond. So they go to a store to get some laxatives, because again, funny. And Harley wants to pick up some groceries, and then they run out of the store, robbing everything. Our hero of the film, everyone. Also, I didn't mention before, because she hasn't been in the film that much until now, but holy shit, is Cassandra Cain a terrible actress. Just her mannerisms, her facial expressions, and painfully dull line delivery make her very annoying to watch, especially when she's spurting out these poorly written one-liners that not even Margot Robbie, as great as she is, can't make funny. And that's another thing about Margot's performance. She's not acting badly, like the opposite in fact. Like she's doing well, she's trying, but she's acting incredibly corny and annoying. And that is essentially this film in a nutshell. Corny / cringy and annoying. And now we finally get to have some screen time for Huntress. Oh yeah, shit, Huntress. I forgot she was in this film. Evidently the film forgot that she was in the film. Christ, we are over an hour into this schlock, and only now are we getting Huntress involved in the story, plus her own backstory. Which turns out she is the daughter of the Bertinelli family who owned that MacGuffin diamond. And turns out she didn't die when her whole family was shot down, and she somehow avoided every fucking bullet that was raining down on them in that living room area. And luckily for her, when she was spotted by one of the enemy henchmen, he protected her instead and took her to Sicily to train to be an assassin. Sure, fine. I mean, she's already more interesting than all the other characters in this film. Though that's not saying much, but hey, it's something. Too bad she's only in the film for like 20 minutes. So, people are starting to show up at Harley's apartment to take her out because the Taiwanese man who Harley lives above sold her out to the criminals, and presumably to Huntress as well, who also got to the restaurant first, but is nowhere to be seen when shit hits the fan and Harley's apartment gets blown up. Okay. So, Harley calls Roman and they are going to meet at an abandoned amusement park, and this is where everyone will converge for the final act of the film. Huntress has finally appeared after the apartment explosion, riding on her bike, following Canary and Victor. Montoya gets a text from Canary to where the location is, and then fucking Victor, sitting right next to her in the car, sees the message on Canary's phone. Like, good fucking job hiding that, you dumb bitch. So Victor tells Roman about this, and then Roman finally puts on that fucking black mask, with only about 15-20 minutes left of the film, and we are ready for the shit final act. So now Harley is tying up Cassandra, and is ready to make a trade to Roman, and this is somehow supposed to make us believe that Harley's betraying her. Like, we know that's not gonna happen. Like, we know how films work. And then they're waiting for everyone to arrive, and guess who shows up first? Fucking Montoya, who, by the way, knew about the location of the meetup after everyone else, and still somehow managed to get there before Huntress, who was literally on a fucking motorcycle, who was right behind Canary and Victor, who show up after Montoya, despite leaving well before her. And, oh yes, now we have an incredibly retarded fight scene between Montoya and Harley. Because you remember earlier, like during this entire film, when Harley Quinn was fighting off fucking police officers, mercenaries, and thugs, all at once by herself, doing crazy flips and kicks that would knock them down in one hit? But, oh no, not Montoya, no. She gets multiple hits in and manages to fight back. Just, what the fuck is this bullshit? Bear in mind, Montoya is even smaller than Harley, in her 50s, and is fucking drunk in this scene. Because she had been drinking prior because she was all pissy and sad because she got dropped by her captain, or she got fired or suspended because she went against their orders and broke the rules of the investigation. And I'd just like to quickly point out, I didn't want to talk about it because it's just such a non-topic, but like her fucking entire arc is just so cliche, and the film itself as well does these like incredibly like cringy, like forced jokes about it. Like Harley always mentions that Montoya's like whole thing, like her whole arc and everything she does is in a like a cliche 80s or 90s cop film, and it really is. But listen, just because you are self-aware and point out things in your film that are fucking lazy and fucking cliche and dumb, doesn't mean they're any less cliche and dumb. Just fuck off. So, yes, anyway, this dumb fight. So while they're fighting, Montoya manages to get her handcuffs on herself and Harley, keeping them locked together. But then Harley flips Montoya over, dropping her hard on the floor, removing the cuffs and putting them on Montoya. And then the most hilarious fucking moment in this film happens at this point. I mean, like, unintentionally hilarious. Like, not like the jokes that they're trying to be funny. Like, this is just, like, stupidly funny. When Harley is screaming about her stupid fucking egg sandwich getting ruined by Montoya, she proceeds to kick the ever-loving shit out of her, sending Montoya flying and crashing through a window, falling to the ground. Oh my god. She is dead. She is so fucking dead. So many broken bones. Oh man, this movie is fucking dumb. And right after this, Victor comes in, shoots Harley with a tranquilizer gun, and is also now about to kill Canary for being a rat. But then Harley gets back some movement in her body and takes out the tranquilizer from her neck. And Victor gets distracted by this, and Huntress pops in out of fucking nowhere, finally, shoots an arrow into Victor's neck. Canary then stabs him, or fucking hits him, not quite sure, just goes by really fast. And then Harley proceeds to stab him a shitload of times in the back. And yeah, that's it. Victor Zsasz is dead. I guess that's the end for that character. I mean, what a fucking unceremonious death for a supposedly intimidating psychopath murderer. Whatever, moving on. And it gets even better in this whole fucking stupid scene because Montoya, after getting blasted through a fucking glass window whilst handcuffed, comes climbing back through the same window with her handcuffs gone and holding her gun. Like, she's just fine. Like some light bruising, but no like harsh scratches or bleeding or like broken anything. She's just fine now. And she's having a standoff with all the other characters. My god, they really don't care how bad this film is, do they? So then Black Mask now finally shows up with a goddamn army of henchmen. I mean, Huntress literally says this, like he's brought an army. So remember that fact when we get to the point that our heroes are fucking taking them all out with stupid ease later on. So now the girls are gearing up to fight the army who have... Wait. Oh, for fuck's sake, why don't any of these dumb twats have guns? Okay, there are guys with guns later on that break into the building from the roof, and there's a few more outside with Black Mask that have weapons later on in the fight. But the rest of them in the funhouse? Nope. Also, they all look like fucking Joker henchmen. Like with their stupid costume and clown masks, and only having melee weapons like baseball bats. This is supposed to be a fully geared out mafia army with machine guns and all sorts of shit. And there are definitely more guys without guns than with in this whole scene. But, hey, guess we need to make it fair for the protagonists, don't we? Just fuck off. We are now at the big funhouse fight scene, and by God is it boring. And also dumb, for the same reasons as mentioned before with the previous action scenes. Just weak looking hits from all the protagonists. Oh, and Renee Montoya beating the shit out of a dude the size of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Okay then. And then the stupidly made carousel fight, which now has Harley Quinn wearing roller skates for some reason. And what's even dumber is Canary actually points out this stupid continuity error by just saying, and I quote, "When the fuck did she have time to do a shoe change?" And then they literally just shrug it off and quickly move on. God, it's like they are fucking trolling us with how bad this movie is by literally addressing problems in the continuity. So they win their incredibly dumb fight and stroll out of the building, and then, oh yeah, they realise there are more fucking guys waiting for them. It's not like they knew that already. Oh wait, yes they did. And Montoya gets shot, but is fine because Harley gave her some bulletproof lingerie earlier when they were gearing up. Yeah, okay. Sure, and Cassandra Cain, the little Asian girl, right in full view of fucking everyone, just gets snatched up and captured, and then Canary finally becomes useful in this fight, and for this whole film in fact, and finally uses her screeching powers and takes out all of the remaining henchmen. So she didn't feel like using that at a much, much earlier point in the fucking film? That is a pretty powerful thing to have and only use at the very last minute of a fight. Oh, it's okay, because it gets dumber with Harley's fucking roller skate chase scene when she's trying to chase down the guys in cars. Just remember, she's on roller skates, so she can somehow catch up to them. But no, she can't, because when another car from behind her just fucking swerves into her, full fucking force, sending her flying through the air and crashing into a van. Just so... What am I watching? Just no bruising, blood, scarring, or broken anything. Just pops right the fuck back up like nothing happened. And now Huntress is here with her motorbike. And correct me if I'm wrong, but motorbikes are much faster form of travel than roller skates. Am I correct? I think I'm right. So instead of Huntress just speeding down after the cars and just killing the drivers easily with her crossbow, you know, just driving up next to them and shooting them in the face, she has to pull Harley along her roller skates and help her to the cars in front so Harley can fight them all one at a time on the car. And then once they take out the first car, Harley then asks Huntress to whip her across so she can reach the car with Cassandra in it. And so Huntress, instead of just, you know, accelerating her fucking super fast motorcycle towards the car, that is going no faster than like 50 miles per hour, mind you, she whips Harley by spinning out of control and fucking crashing herself and her bike, so Harley can then catch up to the car that Roman and Cassandra are in. What the fuck is this retarded bullshittery I'm forcing myself to sit through? Harley Quinn is now clinging to the car and they try shooting her, but not through the windows for some reason. So they try slamming on the brakes, so she goes flying forward, but she catches the side of the car instead. Like, how about you just fucking swerve so she goes barreling away from the car? Or, you know, fucking Black Mask, who's sitting in the back seat and is staring right at her, just shoot her through the fucking windows. He has a gun on him, and he's staring right at her through the window. Who cares? It's almost over. So then Black Mask is defeated in the end by getting blown the fuck up by a grenade. Which Cassandra seemed to have pulled the pin out of like 5 minutes ago or something. Or maybe it was like while he was holding her captive, while pointing a gun at Harley, like she just did it like sneakily because she's all, you know, sneaky pickpocket and she can just do that kind of fucking magic trick. Ugh, but it doesn't matter. It's not executed well in the film. So now Black Mask is dead. Now, our heroes go out to have some tacos and mojitos, and Cassandra finally shits out the diamond, I guess. She's just really good at holding it in. Like, we fucking found out she ate it, like, hours ago. Like, in the film, like, fucking hours, but just nothing. Because, I don't know, because funny. And she had laxatives as well, and it still didn't come out. Because it's funny. It's really not. Then we finish with Montoya leaving her job because her boss took credit for taking down those gangbangers. It's the theme again. The men taking credit instead of the women. Fucking men. Am I right, ladies? Then Huntress uses the fortune from her family diamond to fund the newly made Birds of Prey crime fighting unit. And, oh, holy shit, that is a terrible fucking costume. Oh, those stupid goggles. And fucking Montoya is with them too in this team. What the fuck is her superpower? Just an over-the-top fucking accent and drinking whiskey? Fuck off. And so, Harley Quinn and chubby Asian Harley Quinn ride off together as they eat their newly acquired egg sandwiches. Again with this. Harley literally winks at the camera. Yes, really. And end credits. Well, that was unsurprisingly bad. Jesus, what a chore to get through. From the very first time I heard this was being made, I genuinely wanted this to flop. I mean, who asked for this? Like, I'm a huge fan of the comic books from DC and Marvel, but even something like Birds of Prey, which even fans of the comic books are like, really? Like, that's what you're going for? Jesus Christ. Warner Brothers seriously need to put this whole universe on indefinite hiatus until they can construct an actual plan for making competent films. I mean, this just reminds me of Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy's poor planning of Star Wars. Yeah, I don't know which is worse. Then again, maybe Star Wars because people actually care about that universe. Well, none of this was fun. But I hope I made something fun for all of you to watch, and make you care about a video about something that no one cares about. And by the time this video is out and you're watching it, 100% of all people will definitely not care about Birds of Prey. But I just want to point out how shit it was, because I don't think it gets enough credit for how bad it is. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm TR Cap. Goodbye.
Thanks. This is the best day of my life.
I'm killing myself tomorrow.